Okay, how does this whole YouTube review thing work again? Right, I need an intro. Nah, too simple. No, I don't want to just use a template. How about a classic theme song intro? Yup, I like that. Ooh, and maybe a title card. That'll do.
That'll do.
So, yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Digiman, and this is the first video on my brand new YouTube channel. I hope you like it. That's all I got. Have you ever been curious about the first something? Like, you're just looking at a random object and you think to yourself, I wonder what the first...
Insert object here.
...was. I do that all the time, and I've learned some very interesting things as a result. For example, did you know that Illinois was the first state to accidentally make bestiality legal? Well, now you do, and I bet you wish you didn't. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Anyway, my point is that everything has a first, and I thought what better way than to kick off this channel than by making my pilot episode about one of those firsts. I do the whole, but what am I gonna talk about bit, but you've all read the title, you've seen the thumbnail, you know exactly what the subject matter of this video is. Today, I'm gonna be showing you the very first zombie short film ever posted on YouTube. But before I do that, I gotta find it. So let's go to the website, type in zombie short film, organized by upload date, and then scroll all...
3 weeks later. Many months later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
All the way down. And there it is, The Last of the Zombies, uploaded on January 18th, 2006 by MovieMan11. And if your ears perked at that date, then you've earned yourself a cookie because it's currently a very special anniversary for the video. Yeah, it just so happens that its release date coincides with when I decided to start my channel. Go figure.
Go figure.
Although technically it was made in 2003, but YouTube didn't exist then, so... bleh. But ignoring that, let's see if YouTube's first zombie movie has anything interesting to offer 20 years after it was posted. Wow, I think I just felt several dozen gray hairs sprout from my scalp. Alright, so what's the company behind this flick? IP Films? Oh, 2000s, you thought you were so hilarious, didn't you? The short film opens up with a narration being done by a guy trying way too hard to sound dramatic.
2 months ago, a doctor was working on an experiment to bring the dead back to life.
Well, as intriguing as that is, does anyone else think this guy looks like a young Logan, aka Wolverine? No? Just me? Okay. So the narrator goes on to say that those brought back to life craved human flesh and that anyone they bit turned into what the doctor called, get this, a zombie.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
But you know what's even scarier than that? The person doing the voiceover bumping the microphone.
After many tests of trying to bring the dead back to a normal existence, the doctor decided to pull the plug on the experiment.
And for the record, no, there's nothing wrong with your screen settings. The lighting in these scenes is not spectacular. I'm guessing they wanted to go for like a dark and gloomy tone, especially given the kind of flat delivery of a lot of the actors, but it's a bit too dark at times. And I really hope you like the color blue, because that's quite prevalent throughout this picture. Moving on, we learn that after multiple instances of this occurring, the doctor decided to abandon the experiment.
But before he could, the zombie escaped.
The zombie escaped? As in, the only one? Didn't you say that anyone bitten turns into one, show us footage of someone getting attacked, and then say the doctor tried several more times to get the experiment right? That heavily implies there's more than one zombie dude. Heh, zombie dude. Reminds me of that episode of 16. Also, great timing with this scream sound effect. Look, I know this is a probably $50 budget short film made by a group of friends in the early 2000s, but as far as filmmaking goes, that's a pretty easy thing to fix. Anywho, we then get a slightly shaky cam montage of a so-called special forces unit taking out zombies and running around parts of the city when there are no pedestrians present. I kind of wish there was a shot where they were being chased by a zombie horde or something, but it's understandable that they couldn't really do that. Though I will give them credit for actually making sure there weren't any people around before filming these parts. I've seen feature-length movies by million-dollar studios mess this kind of stuff up, so seeing a production like this actually get it right, you earn some bonus points for that. The montage ends with the best friend of the narrator being bitten. Well, maybe you shouldn't have walked right up to the zombie to check if it was dead.
You stupid.
He then begs to be shot before he turns, but the narrator's character is like,
I can't yet.
You can't?
You can't?
Why not? Because you consider it murder if he's not a zombie? This isn't the time for a morality complex, man.
George, I'm so scared.
Oh, his name's George, is it? Strange. I thought he'd be too busy imitating Tarzan to fight zombies. So George insists on waiting to kill his infected friend despite that obviously being a terrible idea, and then whoops! Ya done goofed, George.
What started out as a simple mission became my hell.
In what universe is trying to prevent the zombie apocalypse a simple mission? What would be a complicated mission? Stopping the other 8 planets from crashing into Earth at the same time? Going back to being a little more positive, I gotta say that I unironically really like the background music in this short film. Not only does it just sound good in general, but it honestly fits the atmosphere the filmmakers were going for very well. And to keep the train of positivity going,
Let's continue the train of positivity.
the zombie makeup and prosthetics aren't half bad either. I mean, you can tell that the blood is just red body paint, and this decapitated zombie head is giving slight Spirit Halloween vibes, but it's still more than one would expect from a production of this caliber. Thumbs up. Anyway, after finally killing his zombified friend, George continues his narration, revealing that his friend bit him and that he's now the last of the zombies. That's the name of the short film!
Clever, clever, clever.
And it's really nice to know that instead of saving humanity by taking his own life before he turns, locking himself in a room, or doing literally anything that would prevent something like this from happening again, George opted to record all this narration and then head to the local playground. Playground? Oh my god, what am I, Japanese?
You lack discipline.
Let me try that again.
And it's really nice to know that instead of saving humanity by taking his own life before he turns, locking himself in a room, or doing literally anything that would prevent something like this from happening again, George opted to record all this narration and then head to the local playground where he'll almost definitely start a new wave of infection, thereby making his and his team's efforts completely pointless. Special Forces, ladies and gentlemen.
You haven't acted with any responsibility.
And with a fade to black that appears to get stuck a few times, the picture ends. Well, that was certainly a blast from the past, wasn't it? Now, I know I made fun of this mini-movie quite a bit throughout this video, and there are a couple of genuine criticisms that I have, like poor lighting, inconsistent aspect ratios, and sound effects that cut out too early. And the story was a little confusing, but overall, I actually liked watching The Last of the Zombies. It brought me back to a simpler time where everything was somehow a lot more fun despite technology being significantly worse.
I remember simple times.
And speaking of technology, this is just a very impressive project in general. Remember, it was made in 2003. Back then, you couldn't just whip out your phone, record some stuff, and then type a few sentences into a program in order to make what could technically be defined as a film. You had to put some real time and effort into this sort of stuff during that era, and I can tell that the people who made this were genuinely trying very hard to create the best thing they could with the resources available to them. Does it have the best acting, special effects, audio, cinematography, or writing? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But you know what it does have? Heart. And believe it or not, the director/uploader MovieMan11, he's still making short films to this day. That proves that he has a true passion for his craft and didn't just go, let's make a movie for the hell of it, and leave it at that. And you know what? I really respect that kind of person, and I wish him nothing but luck with all of his future ventures. So, would I recommend the first zombie short film on YouTube? Definitely.
Definitely. Definitely.
The Last of the Zombies gets 7 blue rooms out of 10. So I guess that wraps up my first review. I know it was a little short and simplistic, but I just started this channel, and as the saying goes, baby steps. I think this is the part where I'm supposed to say something like, check out my other content, but I don't have any, so all I can really ask is for you to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, tell your friends, and all that jazz. Oh, and thank you very much for watching. It really means a lot, and I hope you'll stick around for future videos. I don't know what else I could talk about during this end slate, so bye.